Stability criterion. In this exercise, we have to prove a stability criterion of a linear system. And in this proof, we'll use a theorem of correspondence of eigenvalues and eigenvectors. So, what is this theorem? It states that if f is a polynomial, or an integer series such as exponential, for instance, then if A is a matrix with eigenvalues and eigenvectors, then f of A will have as eigenvalues the image by f of the eigenvalues of A and the same eigenvectors. That's what we have to prove. So it means that if A has eigenvalues equal to lambda 1, lambda n, then f of A will have as eigenvalue f of lambda 1, f of lambda n. We need, in this exercise, to prove, as a first question, the theorem in the case where f is polynomial. So I consider the matrix A, and I will consider an eigenvector x. So it means that A times x is equal to lambda x. So it means that if x is here, its image by A is like this. A of x. The same, they are collinear. Okay. So if f of A first, if f of A is a power, so it means that it is a power j, for instance. Then we'll see what happened to a power j, so this function, times x. So it will be equal to a j minus 1 times a multiplied by x, but this is equal to lambda x. As a consequence, all this one will be equal to lambda a j minus 1 times x. If I continue, I will obtain that it is equal to lambda square a times j minus 2 times x, and so on. At the end, I will have lambda power j x. So it means that x is an eigenvector associated to a power j with eigenvalue lambda j. So we have proved that for f of a equal a power j, the theorem is correct. Now I will assume that I have two polynomials, f1 and f2, and I assume that the property for f1 and f2 is correct. I would like to know what about the polynomial f equal f1 plus f2 and check that for f the theorem will also be correct. So for this, I will compute f of a times x. So this will be equal to f1 of a times x plus f2 of a times x due to this. Now, since the property is true for f1 and f2, I will have that this is equal to f1 of lambda times x, because x is an eigenvector of f1 of a associated to the eigenvalue f1 of lambda. The same for f2. f2 of lambda times x, which is equal to f1 of lambda plus f2 of lambda times x. I consider that the property is true for, since this is f of lambda, the property is true for the sum of the two polynomials. Now I consider another situation. Assume that, for instance, the function f is equal to alpha times f1. So I want to check that if the property is true for f1, is it also true for f equal alpha times f1, where alpha is a real number. So it's what I would check. So f of a times x. So I will check now that x is an eigenvector of this, and I will compute to which eigenvalue it corresponds. So it will be equal to alpha f1 of a multiplied by x due to this, which is equal to alpha f1 of a times x, and since x is an eigenvector associated to f1 of a associated to the eigenvalue f1 of lambda by assumption, then this will be equal to alpha f1 of lambda multiplied by x, like this. So it is equal to alpha f1 of lambda times x. So I have checked that f(a) times x is equal to this real number times x. So x is an eigenvector of f of a associated to the eigenvalue alpha of f1, so it corresponds to f of lambda. So by composition, since polynomial can be generated by power, by sum, and by an amplification by alpha, then by induction we can deduce that the property is true for all f that can be generated from the power aj, and by composition of addition, multiplication by a scalar, in other words, for all functions that are polynomials. Now I consider that the eigenvalue, so the spectrum of A, or the eigenvalues, is denoted by lambda 1, lambda 2. And I will use the theorem of eigenvalues, and I have to compute the spect of the identity plus A, of a power k, of exponential. So as exponential is not a polynomial, but I will assume that the previous theorem is also valid for all infinite positive polynomial, or if it's what we call integer series. Okay, so this is what I will prove. So second question, the spectrum of A is denoted by lambda 1, lambda n, as given in the exercise. So the spectrum of identity plus A. So I will consider that f is equal to identity plus A. By the correspondence theorem, I know that the eigenvector will be the same for I plus A and A, but the eigenvalues will be the image by this function. So f plus 1, f plus 1 plus lambda 1 and 1 plus lambda n. And for this, I have taken the function, let's say f of x equal identity plus x, this polynomial. Now, what about the spectrum of a power k? So I have already computed this, and I know that it will be equal to lambda 1 power k and lambda n power k. If now I take the spectrum of exponential at, then also the eigenvalues of the exponential and of a will be the same, but the eigenvalues will be exponential of lambda 1 t and exponential of lambda n t. Okay. And the last question was, I have to compute the spectrum of f of a in the case where f corresponds to the characteristic polynomial of a. So I know that it will be equal to f of lambda 1, f of lambda n, but since f is a characteristic polynomial of a, I know that the zeros of this characteristic polynomial will correspond to the eigenvalues, and all of them will be equal to 0. So it means that here I will have only zeros, and it is consistent with the Cayley-Hamilton theorem, which states that every square matrix cancels out its characteristic polynomial. Question number 3. Show that if I have a continuous time linear system, it will be stable when all the eigenvalues of the evolution matrix A have a strictly negative real part. Okay, so we'll limit the proof to the implication. Okay, so question number 3. So I will take f of a equal exponential at. So I know that by definition it will be the sum from j equal 0 to infinity, this at power I. Okay. The theorem of eigenvalue that we will assume here applicable even for polynomials of infinite degree or integer series such as here. So the spectrum of f of a is equal to the exponential lambda I t. Okay. So now the stability of the system, by definition, I will have the system to be stable if limit when t tends to infinity of exponential at is equal to 0. Okay. So the exponential at converges to 0 if so it means that all eigenvalues of this matrix tend to 0. So it will be for all j. for all eigenvalues. The eigenvalues of this matrix Jt is equal tends to 0 when t tends to infinity. So this is due to the continuity of exponential. Now this is equivalent to say that for all j, the absolute value of this quantity, which is a complex number, so exponential of real part of lambda j plus I, the imaginary number, imaginary part of lambda j times t. This converts to 0 when t converts to infinity. The absolute value of real lambda j t multiplied by exponential t converge to 0. This is equal to 1 due to the I here. It is pure imaginary here. So this will converge to 0 if what I have inside converge to 0. It is a real number. So it means it is equivalent to say that for all j, the inside will converge to 0. I mean, the real part of lambda j is a negative, like this. So it means that all lambda I are on the left part of the complex plane. No one is on the right. Question number 4. We have to show that if we have a discrete time linear system, it is stable if all eigenvalues are all inside the unit circle. So the proof will be very similar. So we need to take f of a equal a power k, and I will apply a similar reasoning as we have done for the continuous time case. So a power k will converge when k converges to infinity. It will converge to 0 if for all j the eigenvalues when k tends to infinity all converge to 0. So this is by continuity. The power is a continuous function. So it means that for all j, the norm of so I will consider lambda in a polar form, like this. This should converge to 0. So now, excuse me, I have to put here power k. Now this is equal to lambda j power k multiplied by exponential I k theta g, what I have inside. So it means that for all g, all lambda, so this should converge to 0. This is the case if the module of this complex number of lambda, of the modulus of lambda g. So for all j, lambda g should be smaller than 1. Because if it is the case, if this one is always positive because it is a polar form here, it corresponds to the norm of lambda g, so I will have this converge to 0 is this one is between 0 and 1 since it is positive. Now, as a consequence, I have proved that A power k will converge to 0 if and only if this lambda g has a module smaller than 1, so it means that they are in the unit circle of the complex plane. So all should be inside. Some can be on the left, some can be on the right, or everywhere here. They are complex conjugate, but no one should be outside.